So let's get right into it because we are seriously on the edge of a massive shift, a change in how we collaborate with AI. We're moving away from tools that just add another thing to our to-do list, And we're heading towards something that actually, frees us up to create.
And it all kicks off with this super relatable story. This one's from Kath Korevec at Google Labs. Her dishwasher breaks, and her husband says, "Hey, no problem, I'll do the dishes." Sounds amazing, right? But she found herself having to remind him every single night. And that's when it clicked for her. Even though she wasn't physically washing a single plate, she was still managing the whole thing.
And that feeling, it actually has a name: mental load. It's all that invisible work, right? The tracking, the managing, the follow-up, just making sure stuff gets done. It is absolutely exhausting, and honestly, it's the core problem we're going to dig into today. So here's where it gets really interesting. Let's take that idea and apply it to our world, to technology. What if the AI assistants we're building, the ones that are supposed to help us, what if they're actually giving us that same exact feeling of mental load? Just, in the context of writing code. And that really brings us to the heart of the problem with a lot of the AI we see today. The big issue is that most of these tools, they're reactive. I mean, they're helpful for sure, but they're not really partners. And when you put them side by side, the difference is it's huge. Think about reactive AI like a command line tool. You give it a command, it executes, and then it just sits there, waiting for the next one. You're still the boss, you're still the manager. But a proactive AI, that's totally different. It's more like a trusted teammate. It's actually anticipating what you need and working quietly in the background, right there with you. So, why does this matter so much? Well, it really boils down to how our brains actually work. We all love to think we're these incredible multitaskers, but the scientific truth is we're not. We're serial processors. We do one thing, then the next, then the next. So trying to juggle our main task plus a bunch of little AI tasks? Yeah, that's just not what we're built for. And the price we pay for trying to multitask is just staggering. All that context switching, you're writing code, then you jump over to manage your AI assistant, then you jump back to the code, that can eat up to 40% of your productive time. Just think about that. That's almost half of your day, gone, wiped out by what is basically mental friction. Okay, so if reactive AI is the problem, what's the solution? Well, it's about building something entirely different. A true proactive partner. And to get there, it turns out you need 4 essential ingredients.
And here's how they all fit together. First up, you've got observation. The AI has to be constantly learning, understanding your code, your workflow. Then there's personalization. It needs to learn you, how you work, what you care about. Third, it's got to be timely. It has to jump in at just the right moment, not too early, not too late. And finally, seamlessness. This is crucial. It has to just fit right into the tools you're already using, like your IDE or terminal. I know. This might all sound a little bit like science fiction. But here's the crazy part. You're already living with proactive systems. They're all around us, every single day. Just think about a Google Nest, for example. It watches your habits, it learns, and pretty soon you don't even think about the temperature in your house anymore. It just takes care of it. Or an even better example, your own body. When you trip, your body throws a hand out to break your fall before your brain even has time to process what's happening. That's proactivity. It's actually a deeply human thing. All right, so let's bring this out of the theoretical and into the real world. Over at Google Labs, there's a project called Jules, and it's basically a testbed for what these different levels of proactivity can look like when you're actually coding. So at level 1, you can think of it like having an amazing sous chef in your kitchen. This AI agent is just humming along in the background, keeping everything tidy. It's fixing tests that are missing, getting rid of unused dependencies, basically doing all the prep work so that you can focus on the main course, the creative coding. Then you get to level 2, and the agent levels up. It's not just a sous chef anymore. It's the kitchen manager. It's not just cleaning up messes. It's understanding the rhythm of the entire project. It's learning your style, anticipating what you're going to do next, and making sure the whole operation just flows. And then there's level 3. This is a huge leap. We're talking about a collective intelligence. Imagine multiple agents, each with a specialty. One for code, one for design, one for data, all working together. They're not just looking at the context of your work anymore. They're starting to understand the consequence. Like, how will this code change actually impact the user? What does it mean for the business? Now, this is super important. This is not about AI taking over. Not at all. It's about alignment. The developer, the human, is always in the loop. You're the director. You're observing, you're refining, you're guiding these agents. It is all about collaboration, not replacement, period. So, at the end of the day, why are we even doing all this? What's the big payoff? It's simple, really. It's about completely changing the developer experience, moving away from all that frustrating tool friction and toward pure, unadulterated creative freedom.
And there's this great personal story that really drives this point home. Kath was building this insane Halloween project, a 6-foot-tall animatronic head with laser eyes. I mean, how cool is that? The whole point, the dream, was to just have fun with the creative stuff, right? Coding the LED animations, making the laser eyes track people as they walked by. But the reality, well, it was a lot less glamorous. Most of her time got sucked into that tedious stuff we all know and love, fixing bugs, swapping libraries, endless debugging. All that tool friction was just bogging down the actual creative vision. The fun part was getting lost in the weeds. And that's where she said this, which just perfectly sums it all up. It's that gap, that space, between the tool friction and the creative freedom. That's what we're trying to unlock. So look, what we're talking about here isn't just some small incremental update. This is one of those rare moments in time where we actually get to reinvent everything. We can completely rethink how we build software from the ground up. And I want you to really think about this for a second. The tools that feel like bedrock today, things like Git, our IDEs, maybe even the very concept of code as we know it, all of that could be totally different in a year, or even sooner. That's the speed we're moving at. The future isn't just something that's going to happen to us. It's something that we are all building together right now. So the only question that really matters is, what part are you going to play? How are you going to help build it?